Wooden bridge on Zwift. What's happening on the trainer?
I can feel the bumps as I...
You can feel the bumps?
Imagine feeling the sensation of cobbled stones, riding across concrete road plates or a gravel track whilst training indoors. We at Tacx have developed a new feature exclusively for the Tacx Neo that enables us to recreate different road profiles. The unique design of the Neo, with its permanent motor and smart electronics, allows us to control the exact position of all rotating parts 1,000 times a second. By doing so, we're able to simulate the vibrations of road patterns, recreating every road profile you can imagine, from heavy cobblestones to muddy mountain bike trails, and everything in between. Being the only real direct drive trainer, the Tacx Neo differentiates itself from all other trainers by bringing this experience to your home. Feel it yourself by either using the Tacx films, via the Tacx cycling app, or within the virtual worlds of Zwift. Soon, the virtual worlds in TTS4 will also support this new feature.
If you're watching this video, it's currently 4 AM Australian time. I've hit schedule release on this video and I'm riding in the middle of the night with DC Rainmaker and the crew, showing out a new feature of the Tacx Neo Smart Trainer. You may remember Wahoo released a firmware the other month for the Kicker, which really brought an aging unit up to speed with how we're now riding these things really dynamically online. Zwift and the other products that are out there really pushing these trainers to the limit. Even Tacx themselves have released a firmware the other day that really assisted with the sprint performance of the Neo itself. So there's always new developments coming out in software for the hardware we already own. So today we have Road Feel. It's finally been released. There's been rumors, there's been rumbles, so to speak, about the feature coming to the Neo. Now the Neo itself, to explain how this actually does it, the Neo performs about 1,000 operations per second on the resistance of the unit. So this is per second. Your pedal stroke itself is measured on RPM, revs per minute. This is 1,000 per second. So if you're at 60 RPM, the Neo itself can change resistance 60,000 times. That's quite a lot. This frequency of adjustment allows them to do something very unique with this unit. They have the ability to simulate gaps in concrete, cobblestones, wooden plank bridges, off-road gravel, and even ice, where your family falls apart and you turn to a life of crime. Oh, hang on, the other ice, the ice that's really slippery. The pros, this works over both Bluetooth and ANT+. It gives you a more immersive experience. There's a bit of wow factor. People, when they first get on a smart trainer, there's the feeling of, oh, it changed gradient. Look, we've had people the last few days at the product demo we've had here in Melbourne, people have jumped on who've known smart trainers. They know exactly how they work. When they go over that planked bridge, a little bit of that wow factor has been returned. So I love that. Game changer there. So Road Feel gives you something to ride against. Up a hill, it's always easy to push out more watts because you're fighting gravity. There's something to push against. Road Feel gives you that little bit of shake to wake your legs up, wake your mind up that you've got to push a little harder over the section you're going over. Now, the one thing everybody experienced once they come off the gravel section, or especially the cobble section on Watopia, when it switches to the smooth road, they've got that feeling. All cyclists know exactly what I'm talking about. You go from a really terrible road onto smooth tarmac. It's a beautiful feeling. The best example of this I can give would be at Paris-Roubaix, where they're flying through Arenberg Forest. They're rattling around. Their bikes are falling apart. People are falling off. But the lead group in the big bunch will make that left-hand turn, and it's just buttery smooth. You get that with the trainer now. Who would have thought that could be bought indoors? That exact experience. Tacx have done it. Very, very cool. Look, there's also different training modes they've implemented for this. I won't go into them now. They're isokinetic and isotonic. I'll discuss these in another video, but it just changes the resistance of the flywheel and it changes the inertia, and you can get a couple of different workouts there. Whether the workouts are any good or not, I don't know. We can look at that later and look at some scientific papers looking at the results of that, but it's just another option there. So what is this not? What can't it do? Well, what it can't do is simulate this feeling when you're coasting. When we're outside, if you coast over cobbles or you're riding on a dirt road or cornering without pedaling, you'll still get that road feeling through the bike, through the wheels. With this, it's put purely through the chain, so there needs to be chain tension on. Going over hard cobbles, if you've got dead spots in your pedal stroke, it will lessen the feeling of the road feel and will sort of kick in more as you push down. There's no feedback through the bike as such, it's through the chain and through the cranks. Will it shake the hell out of the Neo and cause problems? We don't know. The shaking isn't too violent. There's a lot more stresses going through the system in a big sprint or in an attack, but you never know. Well, time will tell. We'll keep an eye on this though. The future application of this, just thinking forward where this may head, the gamification of things. Imagine throwing a banana peel forward or back, and the rider in front of you or behind you is now riding on ice and slips around for about 5 or 6 seconds. That'd be a great one for a few races, just to level out the field and to gamify things. The training modes, there's some, as I mentioned before, there's isotonic and isokinetic training modes, which I don't really know what they mean at the moment, but we could implement those in erg mode or in the workout session to smooth out your pedal stroke or work on certain things. In summary, is it a game changer? Yes, absolutely. It changes the in-game experience, in my opinion, for the better. So it gets a big thumbs up from me. I love this innovation, and I love it's an update we've got with hardware we already own, and we're now having a better experience through software. Could the kicker do this? Technically, I'm not sure if the kicker could do this. I'd imagine it would put a lot of stress on the belt, and the kicker is an aging unit. It's aging well, but I'm not sure if it could do this. Also, if the kicker was to do this, the way it measures power could become very erratic as well, so I'm not quite sure there. It will be interesting to see if Wahoo can come out with a counterpunch for this. We'll see what they get up to shortly. So I can tell you all about it, but let me show you the different settings they've currently got in the utility application. And I've got an accelerometer on my iPhone, so you'll see it shake the handlebars. Let's run through each of those and I'll explain them as we go. That's concrete plates. Gives a bit of a tap tap as you go over each plate. And the faster you go, the quicker those taps become. Cattle grid. By far the hardest to, you can see the vibrations there is quite dramatic. Cobblestone's hard. Now you can see the vibration oscillate based on my pedal stroke. As I mentioned, there's no dead spot simulation. That's only when you've actually got tension on the chain. Cobblestone soft. Same deal, a little softer. Bricks. Okay, as a comparison, I'll go back to none, so smooth pedaling. Back to smooth pedaling. Gravel. Rougher there. And ice. Ice is smooth, but it lets go of the, let's go, wooden boards. And the smoother your pedal stroke, the better the simulation is, because it keeps the tension on the chain. So it sort of gets you to smooth things out a bit. But again, back to smooth. That's none. Cattle grid, which is the extreme. Back to none. Oh, that's so much better. And wooden boards. Not as extreme as the cattle grid. Again, back to my favourite cattle grid. That's why cattle don't ride bikes. Oh my God. And back to none. Oh, that is dreamy. Absolutely dreamy going back to none. So, that's the effect. Okay, that's hard work. Testing is training, so I've got a good workout with that. What's it like in Zwift? I rode tonight a little bit gimmicky. I think we need to turn the effect up just a little bit more to give that real world punch. I don't think they can turn it up to the full bore straight away. People will be complaining about their Neos acting up and playing up. Once everyone's in the mode though, and in the mix, I think we can just crank it up a little bit and really get those cobbles shaking. So I'm sure the dentists will love it too. It'll cause a few rattly teeth. Thanks for watching. I'm done. We'll see you tomorrow.